So let's talk a little bit about the REST interface. Kind of the key to a REST interface is being able to get a URL from a customer. Instead of saying, let's write a simple query to get back temperature from reactor 4, what would the URL look like, the REST API URL to get that back? And then we can parameterize that. So for instance, this little here, we have a base address here for our API, and here this is parameterized. So this could be gold.json to get back gold prices, or it could be silver.json to get back silver prices. So just like in the ODBC where we do a string replace of these parameters, these squiggly bracket numbers, you can do that as well in JSON. So we'll talk about this, it'll make sense when we go through it. We have a base address and a request URI. Those get merged together to form the one URL that will then be the get URL for the API request. It will return back a block of JSON that we can then sort of parse through and get back out of it what would be a value at a timestamp. Some of the web services don't return JSON natively, some return XML. If it returns XML natively, there's a setting to say, all right, we still need it to be JSON, so we will go ahead and convert the resulting XML block into JSON in our code, and then we can use JSON to manipulate the results. All right, sometimes on these two, especially if you're getting current value, they will not have a timestamp. So in this particular interface, if there's no timestamp for current value, we will just use kind of the current timestamp, what it is now with the system we treated that as the timestamp. So these get a little more complicated, but we can go through and do a couple of examples. So what is this? So again, we need kind of three things here: a current value, an historical value, and trend, a set of data between the start and end date. And a lot of interfaces you'll find will do this. For instance, in this one here, we have, again, the base address and request URI go together to form one big URL that's saying, basically, give me gold daily in US dollars. API key is just part of the request. Where end date equals now, that's we'll pass it now. And it was kind of very SQL-like, this particular one. And here we have a timestamp and end date, and here we have a start date and end date.